How's your hammer, everybody? I'm PTDevil, and today we're going to be doing a discussion video where we're going to talk about the worst vanilla monsters in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I have here a list compiled of all the different normal monsters in the game, and I have them ranked according to like what I thought were bad about them, whether it's the stat lines being absolutely atrocious or the typing being weird for what they are. And I have a couple of OCG cards on this list because I feel like a lot out of them are a lot crappier than what we have as well. So we're going to go in and take a look at some of those as well. Now I know there are a lot of crappy vanillas in this game, so to keep this list from being 80 miles long, we're just going to go ahead and look at the worst vanillas for each of the levels for 1 through 8. So besides looking at stats, I also kind of wanted to look at if they were kind of slightly useful, if there was anything at all you could do with them, and how well would that work. So for example, something like Spike Cedra. Its stat line's absolutely horrendous, but it's still a level 5 water attribute monster, so I guess you could run him in a legendary ocean deck, even though there are so many better options than him, but you could do it, and you perform average. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So level 8 was kind of hard to do because, for one, there aren't that many level 8 vanillas in the game, and number two, all of them are actually pretty decent. None of them have outright bad stats. The only one that actually does is Hieratic Seal of the Sun Dragon Overlord, and I wouldn't consider him to be a bad card simply because he is what he is, a level 8 light dragon hieratic monster. So he's got that going for him. So this is the only one that I don't actually have any dishonorable mentions for, so I just had to go with whichever one had the worst stats, the worst typing, and the one that would be least viable for any deck. And that would be Sengenjin. God, I feel bad for you, buddy. I kind of like this card when I was first into it, because I thought he was cool, because he's a friggin' huge beast warrior. He sells millennium items, but yeah, he's an earth beast warrior, or level 8 even, so there's not a whole lot you can do with him. I mean, I guess you could run him in like Fire Fists or Lunalight, since their support tends to be generic to beast warrior types rather than anything within the archetype, but no, you're not, because he just sucks. Let's move on. The dishonorable mentions for level 7 is Mikazuki no Yaiba and Slot Machine. The Mikazuki no Yaiba has got a pretty bad stat line and just a little bit worse than Serpent Night Dragon, which is what kept that card off the list. But it's still a dark dragon, so I couldn't really put him on this list. And the Slot Machine, his stat line is absolutely atrocious for a level 7 monster. However, with the legacy support that's coming out, he could technically be a little more useful. I mean, he's not the optimal choice for that support, but you could do it. But instead, the worst card in this level is going to have to go to Stone Dragon. Ooh boy, that's worth the 2 sacks. He's a level 7, an Earth Rock type monster for some reason. Why is this thing a rock? It should be dragon. Again, I guess it could have been in a dragon or a rock, and they went with rock for some fucking reason. So right off the bat, he's not getting supported very well. He's not very useful in the game, and his stat line is the exact same as Slot Machine, but he doesn't have the benefit of being able to be supported by much of anything. I mean, the best you could do is maybe Triamids, I guess, but really, no one, and then you got even going to run this. Best you could hope for is if you play this thing, your opponent might quit out of respect for you playing this friggin' embarrassment. Dishonorable mentions for level 6 include Taihone number 2. That's right, I included 2 dragons on a worst of list. Now, as far as stat line goes, I think Taihone number 2 is the one that has the worst stat line this level, but he's a level 6 dragon. You know, fire is kind of a toss-up up there, but it's still a level 6 dragon, so you could run him in higher attics. And possibly go into a rank 6 with them with hazy flames, so that kept them off the list. But still, for that stat line, other dishonorable mentions, we have Ancient One of the Deep Forest and Turtle Bird, both of which are esoterically weird cards to go with very piss poor places for attack and defense. I mean, for one sack. Heck, you got 2 monsters who are beaten by a lot of level 4s. However, for the worst one, I decided to go with Neck Hunter. Ooh boy, the first OCG card on the list. I honestly feel like Konami was using the OCG to kind of test the waters a bit. Since this came out like when the game first came out, so they were kind of weeding through like which ones were good and which ones were bad. Say what you will about all the vanillas that came out with Legend of Blue Eyes and the TCG. Sure, there are a lot of crappy ones, but my god, some of the ones that came out in the OCG, woo boy. There's a reason why we haven't seen a lot of monsters like this thing. I mean, look at it for Christ's sake. Ooh boy, level 5s. Trying to pick the worst level 5 vanilla monsters, like trying to figure out the worst kind of fruitcake. You could put pretty much anything up there and you'd probably be right. So I had to get like really hard on this one just to avoid a huge laundry list of cards. For dishonorable mentions, we have Sandstone, which is probably the worst level 5 vanilla in the TCG. Its stat line's absolute garbage, and it has the same problem we mentioned earlier with Stone Dragon, with it being unsupported by a whole lot. And believe me, when I started this list, I didn't think it could get any worse than that. But oh, my god, was I a naive little boy. Not long into my research, I encountered a card in the OCG called Bolt Escargot. Arguably, he has a little better stats than Sandstone, since it's a little more balanced, but no, it's actually even worse than Earth stats now that I think of it, because it doesn't have anything to excel in. Plus, it's a water thunder type for some reason. Now, why would you give it that kind of typing? By making it a thunder type, you're alienating it from all the water supports. I mean, except for original Umi, yeah, I guess it could work for that, and that's probably what they were thinking, but no. It's a level 5 water monster, and even that wasn't enough to keep it off this list. A little further in my investigation, and I encountered something that was even worse than this, to my surprise, and that was La Moon. Basically, the same problem as Sandstone, but taking it 100 points more in either direction, so it only has 1200 attack. It has a little more defense, but 17 is really not helping it at all. At least its typing is a little more appropriate, but really, that's not saving it. There's nothing you could do with it. I thought that was the worst. Oh no, we were just getting started, which brings us to the real winner of this category, Leo Wizard. God, there are crappy level 3s that are stronger than this thing. I have no idea how this even came into being. I don't know how you can get it that badly, even when this game was just starting. Seriously, 1350 attack and 1200 defense for 1 sack? Why? Why Why would you even think about you playing a card like that? It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it sucks. Let's just move on. Okay, so kind of the opposite problem as we had with level 5 eyes, where a lot of them are really crappy. A lot of level 4s are actually pretty decent. I'm sure in the next video I do with the best vanillas, the honorable mentions for level 4s are going to be like really long. But don't get me wrong, there are plenty of bad level 4s. Dishonorable mentions are going to go to Mighty Guard and Soul Eater. Both of these are like, why do these even exist? Mighty Guard is just so incredibly weak for level 4, it's just not even funny. And then Soul Eater comes again to that weird typing in that it's an earth fish. There's almost nothing you can do with that. Because again, and any earth support is going to be negated by it being a fish, and any fish support is going to be negated by it being an earth. Which actually brings us to the winner of this category, Flying Fish. Again, there are crappy level 2s that are better than this thing. And again, it's the same problem as with Soul Eater. Only difference, it's a wind fish instead of an earth. Even back in the day when this game was first coming out, I cannot think of any reason why you would want to play Flying Fish. Seriously, 800 at attack and 500 at defense for a level 4? What are you getting out of that? You might as well just play some crappy level 3s or 2s if that's the kind of attack spread you're going for. Alright, moving on to level 3. Dishonorable mention for this level includes an OCEG card called Gate Deeg. Its attack spread is pretty crappy for its level. Well, it's a dark beast, which makes it a little weird. Plus, just look at it. It's really creepy and weird, and I have no idea what I'm looking at, to be honest. Other dishonorable mentions go to Niwatori and Monster Egg. Niwatori is an earth-winged beast, which already makes it kind of weird. Plus, its stats are crappy as usual. I feel like I'm saying that over and over again, but it's just the truth. It's kind of the only thing that matters in the worst of this. And Monster Egg, its typing is a little better. It's an Earth Warrior for some friggin' reason. This eggshell thing is a warrior. Its stat line is horrible. Well, for 600 attack, again, there's so many better choices out there. Plus, it just friggin' looks weird. It's just a friggin' egg with eyes staring at you. But the winner of this category is going to Lightning Conger. Again, with that water thunder typing. So it's got the same problem as Bolt Escargot did in the level 5 department. But on top of that, its stat line is absolute dog shit. 350 attack versus 750 defense? For a level 3? What the I can't think of a reason to run this thing at all. You're not getting anything whatsoever out of it. Again, the most you can hope for is that if you play this thing, your opponent just laughs themselves to death. Oh boy, level 2s. At this rate, I could put just about anything up there and it'd be accurate, but I had to get it like really hard and look at the absolute worst of the worst to pick these out. Dishonorable mentions for this level include Slime Toad, formerly known as Frog the Jam, a monster so crappy that an entire archetype went, yeah, we kinda don't want anything to do with you. Really, can you blame them? I mean, look at it. Also, we got two more OCG cards on here, Koragashi and Pot the Trick. Koragashi, its flavor text literally says shit beetle. Enough said. And Pot the Trick, again, Earth Rock, with 400 attack and defense. Fucking why? But the worst one in this level actually goes to Flame Viper. Again, it's got crappy stats. I mean, it's got 50 more defense points than Pot the Trick, but it's an Earth Pyro type. I mean, sure, you could kind of use it in Blaze Accelerators, but being an Earth cuts it off from all the other supports that you would normally be getting with that archetype. So really, there's really no reason to run it in that kind of deck, or quite frankly, any other. Don't look at me like that. Now time for number 1. Ooh boy, the worst of the worst. Dishonorable mentions go to Gigabyte, Dancing Elf, Petty Moth, and an OCG card called Bat. All of these have really crappy stats, even for level 1s. Gigabyte's got a little bit better stats, but he's also got the weird typing of being a water reptile. And of course, Petty Moth being a stepping stone for one of the worst cards in the game. It's just kind of got that association with it. It turns out there's another OCG card that brings all the problems of Petty Moth out without the coolness factor of being able to summon perfectly ultimate Great Moth, and that is Caterpillar. Got crappier stats than Petty Moth does, and you can't even buff him by equipping him with Cocoon of Evolution, and so he's just a big pile of uselessness. There's just so much wrong with this card. I have no idea why it was even created. It's so weak, you can't do anything with it. At least its typing is kind of appropriate. But really, it apparently attacks by just spitting sticky strands of webbing at you. Ooh boy, that's some beat stick right there. Okay, so that is my list of the worst vanillas in the game. Let me know what you think about it. If you like the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't like it, feel free to shake your fist angrily into the air while screaming my name. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Until next time, don't get run over. I'll see you guys later. Leo Wizard!